Previously on the WT Farm Girl channel, we had cut and raked the hay and started baling half of the fields all up. We had gotten a good chunk of it done, but had to retire for the night due to dew coming in that evening. But that was okay, because we had help coming the very next day to help us stack in the barn, which meant we were guaranteed to get all this hay off the field before the rains would come that night. It should have been easy. It was easy. But then it wasn't easy. It had been a beautiful crop of hay. I was so excited to get it in the barn and count all those bales. Finally, we were going to end the year on a high note. Even if it was a really rough hay season, we were going to pull through and make it happen. Or so I thought. If you watch the baler here, you can watch the knots. And if you watch the knots closely, you'll notice that they're not quite timed out together. And as one lonely farmer warned me way back when he told me how to retime my baler, he warned me that this was a common issue, that it could be almost in time, but not really in time. And the only way you would know is if you pushed a good 1,000 bales through it. That's when it would show up. And since we produce so few bales in a year, about 1,000 to 1,500 per year, well, it took about a year and a half for that issue to finally pop up. We started off the morning great. The baler was working, and then all of a sudden, it stopped. I worked and I worked and I worked and I worked at it, trying to get it retimed. We had to collect the bales that were on the field and try to get them in the barn because rain was coming. We weren't fast enough. And the bales that were on the field, we tried to get them back to the house in time, but the rains let loose. It bucketed rain all the way back to the barn. And if you've ever seen us try to park that big giant hay trailer in our barn, you know it is a master of a feat, and it can take quite a while. We tried and tried and tried to get it backed into the barn, but in the end we were too late. All the bales were soaking wet with rain, so we just had to abandon ship and watch helplessly as the rain beat all of our crop that was left down.
Start grabbing them and chucking them?
Yeah. You gonna just randomly throw a bale every so often?
I can throw.
Split it.
I'm gonna split it and chuck it off the side. I can throw it on either side.
I guess you start at the back, huh?
Last 4 bales. And we've managed to put down 50 in this whole row. And we're not even done with the row. But yeah, and this is honestly how much your hay shrinks when it gets wet. So these rows right here, normally you'd be getting like 15 per row. We'll be lucky if we get 10 out of it now. And these guys, these are going down too. I don't think we'll get 50 back out of these two, but I don't know, maybe 30, 15 each. I guess that'd probably be about right. But we'll see. Yeah, at least it's drying. We're gonna salvage what we can. And we both agreed that if we had any more than 50, we probably wouldn't be doing this. Yeah. I don't know. What do you guys do if you have like a whole stack of rained on hay? I mean, these things are already getting hot in just 12 hours. So I don't know. All right, back to it.
And now we have to face reality. Reality that our once beautiful, gorgeous green, lush hay was now going to be turning many shades of gray and brown from sitting in the sun. It's just the nature of the beast. We'll still nutritional test it to make sure the nutrition is all there, but unfortunately it's just not going to look as nice. And also, unfortunately, it might not be as palatable for our horse customers. But the only thing I can do at this point is put the tedder on the back of the new Holland Master Beast, because the backhoe is still on the TYM, and get to work throwing the hay back out so that it can hopefully dry and hopefully be baled very quickly in the next couple of days, and try to keep as much sun off from it as possible, ideally.
Crazy hair, sorry. It's been a crazy day, so I have crazy hair. The nice thing about this, at least I can drive straight over top of the rows. The downside is I cannot turn with this tedder on here because the hitch is so long. The pivot point on the tedder is different than the pivot point on the PTO. So it's a really bad design on the point of coon. Anyway, let's get cracking. I think it's just because it's getting caught on it. I think that's what it is. It's just getting caught on the tines. Oh my gosh, look how big that is. It is not what I was hoping for at all. Oh man, all right, here's another big one. Ready? Yeah, that's gonna be a big mess.
And then, while I sat, working on trying to repair the baler, I caught sight of the most amazing thing I've ever seen back in the hayfield. A family of bald eagles flying around. It appeared to be 2 parents and at least 2 juveniles, perhaps more. The neighbor had a dead baby calf out in the field right back there, and they were especially drawn to it. But when I messaged the neighbor later on, he told me that they had been watching the eagles all summer. So there must be an eagle nest somewhere around there that I haven't found yet. I don't know. It's very curious. But at least gave me something to do while I felt sorry for myself back in the hayfield trying to fix my baler.
Alright, so I know a lot of people are not big fans of the kicker wheel on the 11 wheel rake, but as you can see, it's actually doing a really nice job of flipping over the hay. If I didn't have that kicker wheel on, that hay wouldn't be getting flipped, it would just be getting piled on top of, and that's not something that I want at all. So especially when you've got rained on hay, there's a couple areas that I'm gonna get out here and look at really quick. All right, so this is our windrow right here. You can see it's been packed down. This was all rained on hay. It was solid dry, really, really great hay. Now it looks like pure crap. So we went through and we tedded it right after it rained, like the very next day. We couldn't ted it the same day. See right here, this is right in the middle of the row. This is pretty wet still. It's not looking very good. If I didn't have that kicker wheel, all the hay would fall right on top of that. And this would never get picked back up off the ground. All of this right here would never get flipped over. I've done it without the kicker wheel and it was a disaster. The rows stayed wet. So with the kicker wheel, you can actually see right here, it came through and it picked all of this stuff up right here. So this wheel pushes it this way, this wheel collects this, and it basically kind of flips stuff like this. And it works a lot better to collect a lot of this and flip it over. So if we skirt on down over here, I'm seeing a lot of problem areas like this right here. This should not be wet still, but it is because that, even though I tedded it, when you run it over with the tractor, it mashes it into the ground and it destroys it. See how this is all wet, yucky grass right here? You see this? This is all bad stuff. Right through here, this whole line is just bad. And this actually didn't get hit with the kicker wheel because this is on a turn. So if I had stayed straight, this would have all been flipped over. And sometimes that's why it's almost better to rake instead of tedding, because you know that you're getting everything. And when I ted, it doesn't always get everything. And the temperature's heating up right now, so I'm gonna go through and see if I can rake this up a little bit more. All right, so we are hopefully ready to roll. I've raked the hay so many times. I'm not 100% sure that all of it's dry exactly yet, and most of that's from tedding. It just kind of mushed it into the ground. I think one of my problems could have been that I didn't have my RPMs up high enough. Some commenters last year had made the comment that their balers worked better at slightly lower RPMs. And a lot of people made the comment that I needed to count the strokes per minute. And this baler's rated for 93 strokes per minute. That's what you're supposed to set it to. So at 540 RPMs exactly, it was hitting 93 exactly. I had been doing 520-ish. I wasn't being particularly careful about how high my RPMs were because it wasn't super thick hay. But it does play a part in some of the functions of how fast things migrate into position. So hopefully, with all the tweaks we did and having my RPMs up higher, hopefully it will work. Prayers, guys, prayers. I really need this to get off the field tonight. We're at 540, and there's our stroker. I also knocked down my ground speed, so here we go. The knotter is set, so it should start to catch the hay. I might need to adjust some of the tension on it though. I'm not quite sure until I get some hay into it how tight the knotter tension needs to be. So we're just gonna kind of baby her along. There should be at least a bale forming in there right now. I don't mind babying my baler, I really don't. I'd rather baby it than fix it. Just my thoughts. All right, so I think we should have enough. What do you think? Do you think that should be enough? This is really fluffy, guys. This stuff has gotten so crazy. All right, we're gonna stop it right there. Oh, I see hay coming out the back, but it doesn't look like it's tied. All right. Whew. All right. Just making sure I have my knife. All right. I don't know if I want to show this to you guys. Okay. So it is working. The first bale, for whatever reason, it was struggling on. Actually, it did tie the knot, but it made an extra long bale. And yeah, so yay, I get to rebale this again. Maybe I can drag this over there. It might fit right there pretty good. I don't want to have to make another pass on this side. So here we go. This is looking like it is still hanging up a little bit. See how raggedy that is? It's not cutting quite right. This one's looking pretty good. I'm gonna cut open this bale, or drag it over to the side, cut it open, and just pray that it keeps dying. Alright, so you can see how fat some of these windrows are. A lot of these windrows were actually getting stuck in my rake, so they're definitely good size. Like this one right here. They're not piddly little windrows by any means. They're decently sized. So Baler is doing great so far. I just needed to get through all of this hay. Man, I am just, look at that. It's a thing of beauty, guys. It's a thing of beauty when you fix your own baler. It's not a thing of beauty when you miss your windrow. If I can get my baler to make that turn, I don't know. I might not want to. I might miss a lot of this right here. Oh yeah, I'm missing a lot of it. Forwards and backwards, great. Crap. Well, I'm gonna have to come back through and redo part of that, I'm sure. Look at the feel, it's getting cleaned off. So I should probably check and see how many bales I have done, because Eric's going to want to know. Okay. For 2 weeks now, and it goes downhill pretty quickly if you do not get it baled. I don't know, I'll have to run the nutrition report. It might still be not much different, but visually it looks awful. I'm pretty much gonna break even. Yeah, it's definitely a bummer. I mean, that's part of doing hay, is you have a massive risk that your entire crop is just gonna fail. I mean, for us, we got rained on. It shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened. The baler should have been working fine. It just broke down, and now it's working beautifully. And it's funny because the more I rake it, the bigger the windrows get somehow. I don't know the math on that, but I just gotta dial it back and go really slow, so I don't need my knotter going crazy again. So, better to go slow and steady than to be paying the price later. And Eric has been sick for the last 2 days with severe stomach pains. He's not quite sure. He thinks it's COVID. I think it's a stomach virus. Just awful cramping in his stomach. No puking, nothing else. Just horrible cramps. It could be food poisoning too. That was the thought. I'm fine. My son is fine. Neither of us have been sick with a stomach issue. So I don't know. Anyway, he pulled himself together enough to come out here and help gather the bales, because that is literally my worst job. I cannot gather bales for the life of me. I can't. I'm terrible at it. I can grapple them off the trailer really well. I pulled off 200 today off the trailer, and I stacked them in the hay loft. I even grappled them up to the hay loft, and I did really good doing that. I am proud of myself. It took me 2 hours to do 200 bales, but you know, there's Eric grappling away. So yeah, he pulled himself together just to come out here and do this and help me. So I do appreciate that, because I was ready to just do it all myself. It wouldn't have taken me all night long, but I was gonna scream at everything to try and get it done. I'm hoping I'll have enough fuel to finish this and get home. I know I'm not lined up very good, I'm sorry. I'm trying. There's Eric behind me. Got a nice row lined up there. It looks like crap. But the question is, what do the horses think of this? Will they eat it after being rained on and then left out to dry for another week? So some people come home carrying groceries or flowers or things like that in their arms, walking back home. I come back carrying hay. All right, so we're back here with the horses. Coming out to see. Let's see what they think of this. What do you think? I guess it's approved.
And here are the final tallies. On the left, we have the rained on hay. The arrow is pointing to the simple sugars, which is the number that I need to look at. It is ridiculously low at 1.5%. The report on the right is the pre-rained on hay, and that is at 3.8%, still ridiculously low. But that's good news for my hay customers. And then finally, we have the iron report. At the bottom, you can see 662 ppm. That is really high, and that's the number that I have to be careful with, because if it's too high, it can have bad consequences as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and hit the subscribe button to see more videos coming up soon. More of winter and of course the upcoming hay season 2023, and of course more Christmas trees. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget you can see me at the National Farm Machinery Show on February 15th. Coming up pretty soon. So take care, guys. Love you. Until next time. Bye.